Excellent. Well, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us here today for another Lunch and Learn. We've got a really exciting lineup. We have Candido Rodriguez and Chris Nichols, and I'll be letting them introduce themselves. Just want to thank everyone for taking the time to come out and see this and to watch our video and to be here live. Whenever you have any questions or anything, if you have them follow up, feel free to follow up with any of our presenters at that time. And join us at any time, relaxteams.com. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn over the microphone. We'll start with Christopher Nichols, and give me 1 second here to share his background and let Chris start introducing himself. Very good. Go ahead. Take it away, Chris.
Excellent. Thank you, Dennis, and hello, everybody. A quick introduction. My name is Christopher Nichols. I'm with Stonehill Financial. We are a financial planning firm based in Annandale, New Jersey. And of course, we service clients all throughout the country. Our focus is really helping households and small businesses that are doing well, but in many times they may have concerns or worries about different areas in their financial picture. So that may be retirement or college planning. We certainly want to help them get to that secure retirement, or of course address those rising college costs. Many other are focused really on the protection strategies that are in place in their portfolio or in their plan. So we help families and businesses with that. And then certainly there are others that have more focus on the tax strategies or estate planning. And the idea there to really have a nice smooth transition of their assets to the next generation, to their heirs. With our approach, we certainly personalize our strategies around someone's risk tolerance, certainly their life and their health, potentially their investment performance or portfolio, and really what they want to get out of that. In addition, we have a philosophy, and we embrace the philosophy that's kind of the cornerstone of many of our planning, is really that life will change, right? That taxes will change, and what side of that are they on? That everyone, of course, will pay taxes, and certainly that we are not immortal. The whole goal there is really to help people solidify their future. Again, Chris Nichols, Stonehill Financial. Thank you, Dennis.
Oh, you are welcome. And introducing Candido. Candido, take it away. Introduce yourself to everyone.
Yeah, my name is Candido Rodriguez. I'm a financial advisor with Northwestern Mutual Company out of Morristown, New Jersey. What we do is basically help families and individuals align their personal and their professional goals along with their financial goals. My team helping designing a step-by-step personal financial plan with individualized solutions when it comes to what is the most concern to the client or to the individual, whether it is retirement planning, education planning, and so forth. Our strategy is unique because we take a fractured system and bring it all on board, everything that has to do with, we become the communication and the hub with your CPA, your attorney, and other advisors that you might have in your life. So we integrate all that into your financial plan so that you can spend your life living.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, very good. So I'll go back to full screen so people can see us as we're answering these questions. We're going to be running a panel format where we ask questions maybe to individually or to both. And with the first one, we'll start out with both of you guys because I think it's pressing and important for people to hear and understand. So we're clearly in unprecedented times today with the global pandemic, COVID, everything that's happening. In terms of financial planning, what are you seeing today that households and businesses that you're helping? What is the biggest difference and what are you seeing today? I will start by opening and asking Chris.
Sure. Thanks, Dennis. Well, let's just start by saying, there's this pandemic, as you just indicated, unprecedented times. And because of that, it's really caused a lot of anxiety, and certainly with the disruption at small businesses and even, certainly larger corporations, and also in the households across America with, now stay at home with certainly children, potentially elderly or multi-generations at home. So, there is this overlaying anxiety and really not understanding or seeing where, that clear future, that clear path. But I think what that has really the impact to households would be a focus on cash flows, right? I mean, that's been the immediate, paying the bills tomorrow or next year or within the next, I say, 12 months. But the idea there is that the cash flow has been interrupted, and where are people at with that? And that's continuing and going to continue, and hopefully we all get through this together. But that's been one of the, I think, the highlights There's a couple other there that I want to comment on too, but before that, maybe I turn it over to Candido and Candido, what you've seen, certainly.
Yeah, Candido, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, one of the main things, and that's what has touched most of us, is also the loss of somebody close to us or somebody that we know due to COVID. And particularly in cases where the main breadwinner passed away, and now they have to figure out, what we're gonna do next. Some people had plans in place, some others didn't, but many came to realize that whatever they were doing was not enough. That's one of the main impacts that I've seen that's happening, and as people move forward. So we're look forward to the conversation and open to the conversation about financial planning.
Excellent. And I'll come right back to you, Candido, with this one. What are some actions people can take today to help them get their financial plan on more solid ground?
The first thing, it's because we have to see our life in a dashboard. So the main thing is go back, review their benefits from their employer, make sure that they are maximizing and they are they're taking the most out of it. That they have a good health plan, they have a disability in place, and they offer life insurance as well as retirement. Making sure that all that it's there and it's maximized so we can use it. You can use the best of it. Also, the preparation of an emergency fund is vital. It's the main problem comes like 33% of Americans were 3 paychecks away from defaulting debt. So COVID has pushed that to the brink. So making sure that they have an emergency fund is vital during these times.
Excellent. Chris, we'll come to you for the next question. In many professions, and in particular financial planning strategies, there's do-it-yourself alternatives where people can develop their own financial plan. What would you say to those do-it-yourselfers, especially in this pandemic time, as to what would be your advice to them?
Yeah, great question. And I do want to jump back really quickly before I address that, the do-it-yourselfers. But one of the other areas that, of course, has really heightened the awareness during this pandemic time certainly is that of protection strategies, right? So we'll get into that in a moment, but just going back, in terms of risk management, life insurance, long-term care, and disability insurance, suddenly that has become also more of a focus. So to Candido's point, certainly the disruption on future retirement planning and other areas of their life, but also certainly those protection strategies as well. So, this question, when we talk about do-it-yourselfers, it's interesting because the internet has really empowered so many of us to kind of go online and do our own research and kind of do our own things. And that's great. I think when it comes to financial planning, what you may lose in that do-it-yourself environment is really what the trusted financial advisor like Candido, myself, and so many others can deliver to a client. And that is integrating and pulling together the big picture, right? The advisor is going to be looking at certainly their income and assets, but also what's their tax status? What about certainly their health or longevity? In the marriage, is there an age difference, or is it a remarriage, or is it a single person? So we're sort of pulling all these things together to really unify and coordinate the plan for the individual, the household, or the business. Of course, we do that as well. And that there could be unintended consequences if somebody does that on their own. They certainly can go online and develop their own investment portfolio, but that might be at the exclusion of other parts of their plan. So it becomes much more coordinated. I'd also add that, certainly in the last 10 years or so, we've seen the increase of robo-advisors. Robo really being that sort of program you could plug into online, with your own profile. However, the downside to that is that it may be, one thing could be more passive investing, where certainly that has been, favorable prior to the pandemic. But now it's a more time for active management. They may be proprietary, models as well. So it's less of an independent model that a trusted advisor may implement. And if there's support, it might be from somebody who's a little more junior level and doesn't have that experience to really pull together the entire plan and really help that individual. At the end of the day, planners are looking at trying to help folks solidify their future. and drawing all together these different elements of their financial lives. So do-it-yourselfers, I think they absolutely have a role, just not just in financial planning, but certainly maybe a lot of other areas too, working on your home and others. But it is a case of be careful of the unintended consequences.
Excellent, excellent. And I know we're making good time here on our presentation this afternoon. So I wanted to break here and see if anyone had any questions or anyone had any specific questions on some of the topics that we've discussed so far. Any questions? Candido, Chris, is there any area that we've discussed that you want to go back into a little more detail before we take it on to some of the other questions that we have prepared?
To Chris' point, when it comes to the do-it-yourself, it happens that when it's easy to think that you can, and it's powerful to do something with your own hands, like it empowers you. However, if you go to a store and you can buy a do-it-yourself kit for an oil change, and or the store can charge you the same amount of money, and somebody else will do it. You're better off letting somebody else do it. You can engage your time into other activities, into more spend time with your family, and usually especially with the markets, the ups and downs, they need to invest extra time into figuring out strategies on the spot. So they have to keep thinking on their feet, and bringing that to someone else. And somebody that you can talk really will help you in the long run. You're going to learn because it's an educational process. However, having somebody there, it's always good.
Let me just jump in. That's a great point, Candido. And the other important element of that is having that person to meet with. It's a long-standing, long-term relationship too. It isn't kind of a one and done. So there is that element that, and one of the principles we noted was that life will change. So as there are changes, you need to have that person, that counsel long-term to help you. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. And that's the power of a panel. I mean, I like having you guys having both of your feedback and getting into the questions. So next question, I'm going to focus this one towards Candido. What can someone expect when working with a financial advisor such as yourself? We'll probably go both with this one as well.
Yeah, and that's Chris's last point. You make working with an advisor, you're making a partnership. It's a relationship. It's a long-term relationship where you have to get to know each other and create a realistic assessment of where we are. So when you're talking to a financial advisor, you're gonna one of the main things is that you're gonna get unemotional recommendations. So they're gonna be realistic recommendations looking forward to your future. It's very important to know that it has to be like the better information I get, the better information, the best, it improves my plan. So if I have access to banking records, tax returns, investment strategies, benefit packages from your employer, I will do a better job. So there has to be that trust, that bond of trust between the advisor and the client. Again, during the discovery process, we tend to have to open our books and be honest and share with your advisor stuff that probably your wife doesn't know about a credit card debt or previous bankruptcy filing. So when working with an advisor, the conversation, you can expect a very honest conversation with somebody that is looking forward to become a partner more than just that you becoming a number.
Excellent. And then as far as Chris, I know this is one of your real strengths. Can you expand a little more on risk management that you mentioned before and what it means to a household or a small business owner?
Absolutely. So risk management is so important as a basis, we believe, for that portfolio, for that financial plan, I should say. But the idea in risk management is that you're striving to really protect the income and the assets of that either household or that business. And a lot of times people might jump into investment portfolios and try to raise or increase their assets and build savings, and that's fantastic. And but where are they with their protecting some of the assets and income? So if we just go outside of our world and look at other insurance products. Certainly there's car insurance, auto insurance, homeowners, commercial, and each one of those are designed as elements to protect something. In our world as financial advisors doing planning, we're looking at protecting the income and the assets. And we do that with strategies leveraging or working with solutions of life insurance, disability insurance, and long-term care insurance. And that's kind of it in a nutshell. And they certainly cross over and they help protect the plan, but many times people have a vision, an idea, and a goal of where they want to be. And we can also ask the question, kind of, this is sort of reverse engineering, what could derail that plan? And if people are not self-insured, they really need to consider risk management approach and solutions and strategies for their overall portfolio. Again, the idea here is really to help that household understand if, God forbid, something were to happen catastrophic to one of the breadwinners, what does that mean for the surviving members? And usually people really want to maintain that standard of living. And if it's a business and something catastrophic, God forbid, would happen, what about the continuity of the business too? So that's when we talk about risk management, we see it really as a basis for a strong financial plan.
Excellent, excellent. So Candido, basically a more open question is there anything else someone should know about working with a financial advisor in general?
One of the main things, like when people hear when you call and they think of a financial advisor, is that, well, I have to have money to jump in. It's a money thing. It's about investments. It's about the stock market and mutual funds. But something important with the financial advisor is that you have your consigliere, because it will be someone that is not only going to help you when it comes under your financial health. Usually we work with teams where we have a specialist in certain areas where you might need help, and also you have access to other consultants when it comes, like CPAs, realtors, real estate agents that can help you advance, can help you program your path in a better way, as opposed to having to build a new relationship. We, a financial advisor, we already have that network of people that can help you and we can bring it on board. Since we already know the situation, if we already know your position or what you want, it makes a conversation way easier. So a financial advisor, again, is more, and people that have to take that into consideration, is someone that's there to help you and your family. Your kids are going to grow up, and that will be someone that that be able to help them also make financial decisions.
Excellent, excellent. Chris, same question for you. Is there anything else someone should know about working with a financial advisor?
Well, I think Candido really hit on the two main areas that I'll just reiterate. The first one is really that disclosure, and a lot of times I think it's important for people to also understand going into that relationship, as they're going to be disclosing things, and that's the discovery process for the advisor. There might be some personal questions. It may be uncomfortable, but the most important thing to understand is that recommendation from the advisor is really made stronger when people can be much more transparent, right? And that's key. And then to what Candido said, just about the strategic alliance or partnership, many advisors in their own community certainly know the different accountants in the community, realtors, attorneys, mortgage specialists who can refi, and all of these things may have a direct tie-in to the financial plan. We certainly don't do those things. That's why we have the partners. But there are also people that we know and we trust, certainly, to have a client speak to them. So that is more of the power. Again, you go back to the do-it-yourself or in the siloed environment, good probability that if they have the attorney and the accountant and the advisor working independently, well, maybe also they do need to cross over with some of the planning. And they can accomplish that, but it may be less of a coordinated plan. So I think those are just the main highlights of the value that an advisor brings to the relationship, for sure. Yeah.
Excellent. And again, we're doing great on time. I know we want to be very cautious of people's time being at lunch and in general. So we'll pause here. Any other questions from anyone out there that's listening and it's in thing? I know people tend to be shy on these pieces, so no questions. All right. So before we get into the final last words, let everyone kind of go through and mention, what you want to mention about yourselves. Is there anything else that we covered here today, or any other subject matters you guys want to talk about? Otherwise, we'll get into letting you guys each have your own final last words. All right.
One of the things that I wanted to bring up is that right now how the environment is working, it's the best time for you to have someone that you can reach out and talk, that that won't judge you. It will be a free judgment environment that will really help you get in track, or make sure that that your financial planning in life is heading in the right direction. The tax code is changing in 2026, and we might see it as far away, but that's gonna change your paycheck. That's gonna change how you save. That's gonna change how you spend. So having someone to talk now and thinking ahead of the curve, it will be really helpful, and that's something that people have to keep in mind, especially during these times.
Excellent. All right. So give me 1 second. Let me pull back up our screens. All right. So we'll start with you, Candido. I brought up your contact information so everyone can see it, know how to contact you. We want to comment a little bit about how people can contact you, how you like to work with them, and any other last words before we wrap up the show for today. Sure.
First, thank you, Dennis, for the opportunity. It was a good conversation, and I really enjoy it. That's my email. My mobile. I'm located in Morristown, New Jersey. To COVID, most of the meetings now it's online, but people can reach out by email. We can set up an appointment, talk a little bit. Me and my team we find that we work excellent with established families with dual income, because especially in the future and now, those are the ones that they're in that sandwich situation where they have to take care of the previous generation, plus they have to take care of their kids, and also in taxes. They are the ones that they are just a little bit slighter on that next tax bracket, and we find that we help them really much, making more efficient the tax burden and planning.
Awesome. Let me pull up Chris's slide. So Chris, go ahead, same for you. What are any last closing words?
Yeah, I think a couple things that we see too, I'll just throw this in as last word, although I meant to comment on it earlier, is that I think Candido kind of noted this, that a lot of times people are hard on themselves. And, it's just important to know that as financial advisors, we're looking forward. We're helping people achieve those goals that may be 5 years away, 10 years away, or 30 years away, right? And a lot of times people might look at themselves and think, I didn't do this or I didn't do that. And when that relationship is working and you're really looking out forward, going out, it can be very, very certainly beneficial, right? Most importantly, the strategies, the ideas, the conversations are not cookie cutter. And these are all really custom tailored solutions to, the time horizon and other things. Those are some of the most important conversations, is the timing of people. And then we look back at the pandemic that's recently hit. We go back to 2008 and 2009. People's risk tolerance may have grown during that time, but they found out during the pandemic, no, maybe they don't want to take as much risk. That's where the financial advisor can certainly provide that counsel. So yes, I am out of Annandale, New Jersey, Stonehill Financial. We do have clients that are across the country. We're also, very importantly to note, is that we are independent. So, we work with people and can really help design strategies to help them grow in terms of their, the households and businesses, where they really want to go. I think that covers it. In terms of how we're working right now, certainly we, like many others, have been running Zoom conference calls. My certainly phone number and email is there on the screen. And this, if anybody would like to just have a Zoom conference call for that introductory, we'll call it exploratory conversation, absolutely, we can set that up. It's a small investment of time, but can really bring nice, strong rewards for the future. And Dennis, I want to thank you, and certainly Candido, you as well, for this time, and hopefully we're able to educate and deliver some value to our listeners.
Excellent. So we'll stop there. And before we wrap up the show for the day completely, I just want to put a little plug in for Relax Teams. I mean, I think this is our Central Jersey team that's shown some of the strength here, and wanted to ask each of you if you enjoy being a member of Relax Teams and what you kind of get out of it. I'll start with you, Candido.
Well, the great thing in Relax Team is like I came to somewhere that there are different people from different backgrounds, different industries, and in every conversation, I learn something new that I can either bring value to my clients or I can bring that value to myself. It's a great place to network, and most of that professional network is like you can build those warm friendships with other people, you know, in the Central New Jersey area.
Excellent, excellent. And Chris, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, very similar. I mean, you know, prior to the pandemic, many of us small business owners have been out, maybe at chamber events, other networking events, we're meeting other professionals. This is virtual, right? And so actually the timing was very good. We get together every week with the Relax Teams group, and we're exchanging ideas, not necessarily me with the financial planners and those in financial services, but just crossing over into other business and industry and hearing how people are sort of innovating and adjusting and being flexible in this current environment, knowing that certainly things will get better. But you know, it's a very supportive group, and as Candido and I had indicated earlier, you know, we also have that network of professionals in the community. So Relax Teams, there's a number of people that may not be financial services, but others that we could certainly refer to, knowing that if we have a client or a prospect that has a challenge, we may have a connection through the Relax Teams group. So thank you for putting this together, Dennis. I think it's a phenomenal
No problem. And again, there's not, unlike other organizations, you know, our primary group, we don't charge for it. It's wide open for anyone to attend. We do have like more subsidiary groups where it's just one exclusive for each individual. But the main focus is really get out there, and Teams was meant, and it was founded before the pandemic, but really since the pandemic, to help us all get through this together, and whatever we can do to help each other out. That's what we're trying to do here. Hope you learned a ton today from two very smart people. Feel free to reach out to them any way that you feel that best fits you, and stay in touch and keep looking out for other content from us. Enjoy. Thanks.
Thanks, Dennis.
You're welcome. Okay, I turned off the recording, so.